Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we are looking at the most useful echoes in the Legend of Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. Whether it's through practical application like climbing cliffs or crossing gaps, or dealing tons of damage in combat, these are some of the best echoes you can use throughout your latest adventure in Hyrule. But before we get into it, we publish new content all week long. So be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Wizrobes. Coming in 3 elemental variations, the Fire, Ice, and Electric Wizzrobes are great mid-game damage dealers. Not only do they offer these strong elemental attacks, but pretty good evasion. They'll warp around the screen, dodging attacks and making it tough for your enemies to take them out. Beating these wily wizards can sometimes be a pain in the neck, especially if you aren't kitted out enough to hit them. But the juice is well worth the squeeze in the end. Make sure you're closing rifts, as these bad boys cost 5 of Tri's power to summon each. Ignizol. One of the earliest echoes that Zelda encounters on her journey, the Ignizol has both combat and practical applications, making it one of the most useful. An adorable variant of the amorphous green blobs that are Zols, these blazing buddies will set anything that comes into contact with them on fire, whether it be enemies, grass, or torches. They're great for trapping foes, and many dungeons benefit from using them when solving puzzles. It can even light your way in pitch-black areas. Be careful though, because the fires these little guys start can still hurt you. So long as you don't go running through their path, you should be fine. White Wolfos. One of our personal favorites in Echoes of Wisdom, the White Wolfos Echo is a good old 3-for-1 special. It has a relatively high cost of 5 triangles, but once you summon it, it summons 2 of its own smaller good boys to fight with it. Straight up value. The trio work as a good distraction in combat, as the enemies will struggle figuring out which one to go after. This gives you the perfect opportunity to enter sword fighter form and dispatch them with ease, or just sit back and enjoy the carnage. Platboom. Another early game staple, the Platboom is hilarious to use in battle, being able to squish enemies who are dumb enough to walk under it. But it's also extremely practical when it comes to exploration, letting Zelda ride it up a cliff, elevator style. It costs 3 triangles, so you can use it from the get-go. But finding it can be tough, as it only appears in 2 locations, in a cave directly above Gerudo Town and the Desert Temple during the main quest rift in the desert. There are several great traversal echoes in the game, but the Platboom is definitely one of the most fun. Crow. You wouldn't guess it just from looking at it, but this unassuming little bird is one of the best echoes in the entire game. Not only are crows super easy to find all over Hyrule Field, they're also extremely efficient in their summoning cost, coming in at 2 measly triangles. The best part? When the crow attacks an enemy, they knock out a ton of rupees, making this a great way to farm for cash. Oh, and like a few other summons in the game, if you use Zelda's new Bind ability, you'll be able to fly through the air with it. Bombfish. As is tradition in every Legend of Zelda game, bombs are an integral part of your adventure in both combat and exploration. From blowing up cracked walls to dealing big damage to groups of enemies, bombs have always been one of the most useful tools in your arsenal. Echoes of Wisdom is no different, and they come in the form of the Bombfish. Costing 4 triangles, you'll want to make sure you're closing rifts to take full advantage of this bad boy. If you throw the Bombfish in water, they'll act as a homing missile for enemies, making them a great asset during some underwater traversal. You do eventually get bombs in Sword Fighter mode, but that will drain your precious meter. The Bombfish is just better. Plus, it flops around. How cute. Water block. Probably the best way to get around in the entire game, the water block echo makes easy work of any vertical or horizontal hurdle you'll come across. Costing 1 triangle per use, you'll quickly find yourself Tetrising these together to climb and cross gaps with ease. I recommend you finish the Jabul Waters portion of the main quest as soon as you can to unlock this, as it is an essential tool at Zelda's disposal throughout the rest of the game. It also has combat use too. If you're lucky enough to trap an enemy in a water block, they'll drown and be taken out. Just be careful how long you stay in, because Zelda obviously can't breathe underwater either. Peahat. Easily the best damage dealer in the opening hours of the game, the Peahat is a rather large, flying, spinning, spiky thing. You can find this lethal leafy weirdo in a cave in the southern forest, and I recommend doing so immediately. It'll be a bit of a challenge to defeat, as you'll likely only just be starting out, but it is definitely worth it. The Peahat's size and nature of being a giant spinner of death can make short work of groups of enemies. Naturally, it's weak to fire, so do your best to avoid Ignizols, fire Wizrobes, and the like when you call on the Peahat. Lynel. Ah, the mighty Lynel. This Centurion beast was a force to be reckoned with in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and its Echoes of Wisdom counterpart is just as formidable. You can technically find and unlock the Lynel very early on in the game if you follow its hoofprints in the Eternal Forest, but you won't have enough of Tri's power to summon him until much later. Once you do, it's game over for your enemies. Sporting the highest attack and defense in the game, it's the perfect echo for combat that tanks hits and dispatches moblins with ease. Old Bed. Would you believe it? One of the first echoes you obtain is also one of the game's best. Costing only a single triangle, from the jump you're able to create bridges and stairs, making basic traversal a cinch. As you upgrade Tri's ability, you'll be able to summon up to 6, making canyons and cliffs laughable as you stack them up. As an added bonus, you can also lie down to recover hearts. It goes slow, but it's an extremely useful feature, especially early on. Sure, bed echoes you get later may be fancier and recover more hearts faster, but they cost significantly more. Being able to quickly dump old beds all over the place makes it an invaluable asset. Since there are a ton of echoes to find in the game, we naturally had to leave out a lot. What are some that you relied on for your playthrough? Let us know in the comments.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, there's more where that came from.